Well, for a change, I actually have some good news. The new Sims 4 update is here, and they added some features that I think are actually pretty good. Number one, they added a feature where you can actually select what packs you're playing with. Now, honestly, this is something I have advocated for in the past, and I think this is a really good idea. And unfortunately, I also think it's becoming very valuable in Sims 4. This is really important because the overall stability of the game is questionable, and honestly, sometimes you just don't want to play with all packs. And this includes expansion packs, game packs, stuff packs, and even kits. I could see this even being useful if you're building and you just don't want to get overwhelmed, or even if you're doing certain challenges. Again, an excellent addition as long as it works properly, and maybe it was actually added in terms of feedback. If we want to be more cynical, we could also say The Sims 4 is breaking down for so many people, and also a lot of people want to disable packs like for rent. And so that probably does have a grain of truth to it too. And so while that is true too, I still want to say this is an excellent update. Now the next aspect they added was something I didn't expect. They always do tend to throw in surprises here and there, and this is all about skin details. Now I will note these new skin details unfortunately are not for children at all or anything below that. However, they are pretty interesting details, and while the execution may be up for interpretation, they will add some more customization for Sims. These include new wrinkles and age spots, especially mouth wrinkles and eye bags, and also age and dark spots for the cheeks and the forehead. In addition, there's even options for upper and lower body wrinkles. There's also stretch marks, which do come in both light and dark skin tones, and you can see them on the torso, arms, and legs. Now the freckles, apparently the freckles were created in a styler that is like the freckles from Sims 4 growing together, but they can cover everything from shoulders to ankles, and the face designs also cover a pretty broad area, and freckles again come in light, medium, and heavy densities. I personally actually do have freckles. I love seeing this. It's not something I really expected or something I desperately needed, I'll admit, but it is still a nice addition. We also get rosacea. Now rosacea is available in a couple different levels of redness and irritation. These skin details can also be layered with tattoos and body hair, so if you want tattoos and body hair, you can still add these too, which of course is excellent. In addition, skin details are supposed to stay consistent, so if you add skin details to a young adult, they should still have them as they age up. Skin details should also work properly with different body types, which is something I definitely want to test once I can actually get into my game and my EA app stops crashing. Now that aside, I think all these are great additions. Again, the skin details are nice to have, nothing I really expected, but I'm especially happy about the pack selector. This again is growing increasingly needed. Now I would say that's still a sign that we need a different Sims game and not to continue to add to Sims 4, but it is useful even besides the functionality issues. In another sign they are listening to feedback, they added a new option for ailments with the Enchanted by Nature expansion pack. Now you can actually disable ailments entirely. When you disable them, ailments will no longer spread contagiously. Once disabled, Sims who already have ailments will need to wait it out or seek a cure, but no more Sims will contact ailments through spontaneous spread. Now they actually did a whole Q&A which was really chaotic on the Discord server, which I do want to talk about in a future video because I think the way they're communicating is really interesting. They also have a general FAQ about the ailments and why they did this. Now it is important to recognize that if you do choose to disable ailments entirely, there are a couple considerations. Everything in the Enchanted by Nature pack will still work the same, but the ailments are no longer contagious. So Fairy Sims Cure or Apply Ailment ability is unchanged. You can still direct fairies to give ailments to other Sims, but while controlling a Sim with an ailment, you can try asking a friend for a fairy to cure you. It's also important to note if you have the career path, clients will still come to your house with ailments that need treatment. So it's really interesting how they implemented this. Like I said, they have a whole FAQ, and the whole rollout was a little bit unusual. I do wonder if this pack did not sell as well as projected, but I also wonder if this would convince more people to buy the pack. Let me know in the comments below if you think this is a good fix. But while we're on the topic of fixes, don't worry if you don't own Enchanted by Nature because we did get at least a few more fixes. This includes a DirectX 11 update for PC players using Intel. In addition, they also included some general performance updates. In this patch, they've made several optimizations improvements to enhance the gameplay experience, such as enhanced rendering performance for smoother visuals, improved responsiveness by optimizing how graphics are processed, fixed issues causing crashes when certain graphics settings were used. I really hope that is for console players especially, addressed shadow flickering to ensure more stable reflections, and also resolved problems with lighting to maintain consistent brightness. Now honestly, this cuts way back on crashes. I am all for it. So if you have been getting crashes in your Sims 4 game and you do test it, please let me know. I personally have not been experiencing crashes, but I know a lot of console players in particular are. Now moving on, we do have a few bug fixes, like I said, nothing to get super excited about, but at least it's some progress. The base game fixes are mostly just in Create a Sim. For example, they fixed the sneakers from the 25th anniversary update, the wide leg jeans, the new tuck tees, and also a feminine fashion preference will now see the blazer and t-top. They also fixed one hair. So like I said, nothing to get super stoked about, but there are just a few more fixes for other packs. High school years, when 4 or more teens from the active household attend high school, they all now have high school day tasks. Honestly, I know this has been a problem pretty much since the pack came out, so fingers crossed this actually works. For businesses and hobbies, when adding a sim from the gallery that has custom tattoos, the sim skin is no longer black. I will warn you with this issue, I doubt it is for retrospective saves. I would guess it only applies to saves going forward. That is just my guess, but let me know if I am wrong on that. Surely, this is definitely one that was in high demand, and I really hope both of those are fixed. For Enchanted by Nature, they also fixed when cooking, Sims with bad luck are now less likely to start a fire. And they also did a few fixes, visual fixes, for the sleek bathroom kit. It is interesting to think about how they are prioritizing what they are fixing. But in addition, there were also some fixes for console-specific gameplay. Arguably, the biggest one is that settings should now save between sessions. People are having problems with their settings constantly changing, and hopefully it stays as it should. Also, in live mode, when notification wall is open, pressing RT or R2 to clear all notifications no longer impacts the game's speed. And also, with a recent update, they identified that an updated user agreement was not being shown, causing the game to be offline. So just think about this if you are not on console. You are facing being offline, also their settings constantly going crazy, and also crashing issues. My heart goes out to console players especially because it is just crazy, even beyond the other bugs and issues in Sims 4. And so in short, at the risk of sounding too optimistic, I will say these are some pretty decent fixes. I love that they were focusing more on stability and some pretty big item issues. Of course, always in the room is the issue with corruption, and this is an issue I will keep mentioning until or unless it is fixed. All in all, some great additions, some good progress, but we need to continue down this road. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. As always, thanks so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.